Hello. I thought I will connect and record a video about astrocartography. Now, I'm not an astrologer, as you all know, but I posted a story on my Instagram about that I'm thriving in Florence, and it's because my Venus line goes through Florence. And a lot of you asked me a question about what is. I also said, do you check your astrocartography? And a lot of you asked me what is astrocartography. So I will tell you about my experience with astrocartography, and maybe it will help you. Maybe I'll give you some ideas of where to move next or where to travel next, just to experience. And I will tell you a little bit how to read it. Now, I'm not an astrologer. Again, if you want like in-depth explanation, then maybe you should talk to an astrologer. They will give you more information on that. But I think it's a little fascinating. I truly enjoyed it, and I will tell you how I started reading astrocartography myself, and also for my friends and for my relatives. Now, I heard about astrocartography maybe like a couple years ago. I heard it somewhere and I was like, what is it? Let me look. Maybe it's something interesting. So I built my chart for myself, and I was fascinated by the planets that were present there and that were and that influenced me somehow. So what astrocartography is? It's basically lines that go through the whole world based on your date of birth. So depending when you were born, the lines would be different. And when you live on a particular line, certain areas of your life are influenced more or less. So why people use astrocartography is to avoid certain areas of where they live or what they do, and maybe emphasize other areas of their life. For example, if I want to be a mother, if I want to be thinking about having a kid, about like develop more my feminine side, my nurturing side, then I probably should be living on my moon line. Now, if I want to be more masculine, more kind of focused on actions, then I should be on my Mars line, like that. So basically, it is interesting. Obviously, you're not going to base your whole life on astrocartography, but it's interesting to observe. And I will tell you how I observed my life, and maybe that will pique your curiosity and you will look at your lines. Now, the lines go throughout the whole world, so it's not like you're limited to a certain place. It's not like this. It goes through the whole world. It just sometimes like I have a lot of countries that are in Asia, and I am not sure whether I'm ready to live in Asia or to maybe to travel. And I also have a lot of lines that goes through the oceans. So, but it's not just limited. So, like for example, Venus line goes all over the world, and then it also goes like this vertically through the world. So you will find a place. If you feel like okay, you will find a place for yourself. Now, this is what astrocartography is. You can build it very easy. You can go online. There is a whole bunch of these websites, and you can just build one for yourself. It's not a big deal. You just need to know your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth, like any natal chart. If you need help with that, I can help you. But it's just that easy. It's not it's not a secret. Now, a couple years ago, I found out about astrocartography, and I built myself a map, and I forgot about it. So I looked. I'm like, okay. So it's not like I'm going to move now. So I just kept it. So last year, when I was traveling to Turkey, I looked at my astrocartography, and in Istanbul, where I was majority of the time, I didn't had any lines. But in Cappadocia, I had a line. It was my Jupiter line that went through it. Now in Cappadocia, we didn't spend much time, maybe 3 days. So I was interested about, well, let's see what will happen. Let's see how I will feel in that area. But I didn't have super high expectations, obviously, because I was not there for too long, and our schedule was pretty packed. But I will tell you what happened. So those 3 days we hardly slept because we had so much activities planned that we almost didn't sleep. But in our last day in Cappadocia, when we had breakfast and I had my coffee, I had this thought came into my mind that basically the thought was something like this: I don't have to live in Miami. Like, Miami is my home, obviously, but I don't have to be there full time. And that thought never left my mind. Like, it stayed and stayed, and I nurtured and nurtured, and I tried to, um, like, I kept, I continuously kept returning to that thought again and again and again. Like, that thought, it was a fleeting thought, but it just stuck with me. I'm not sure why. It's not like I had nothing to do, so I was sitting and thinking about it all day, because as soon as we had breakfast, we had to drive to another town. But that thought kept coming back. Like, I remember I came back to United States and I was thinking about it, and then again and again. Then during the eclipse seasons, I also was thinking about it. So the thing is that Jupiter line is the line of expansion. Whatever I believe in, whatever are my beliefs about the world, about the current world, about my reality, they all, Jupiter expands them. So I always believe that a person should have a home where they live, and they go on vacation maybe a couple times a year for a couple of weeks, not more. Now, at that moment, I seriously expanded myself. I never even thought that I could be that it could be my reality, that I can be living somewhere else part-time. I mean, I had the thoughts that I should have a condo here, a condo there, but I never thought that I could live like that. So it was always an idea, but it never was as real for me as at that moment. So as you can see, those 3 days, they expanded me to the point that right now I'm in Serbia, and I'm liking to have an opportunity to travel, basically. So this was my experience with Jupiter. So after I realized that line really expanded me, that I didn't go to Cappadocia just to fly on an air balloon, but also I had an idea that helped me to expand. Yeah, it took me almost 8 months to come to some kind of decision, but still, it helped me. It helped me to expand. It helped me to start seeing a different version of my life, so to say. It was not just an idea; it was very real, and because I was on the Jupiter line, it became that real. Because I always was thinking about traveling, how nice it would be to live 3 months there, 3 months there, but I never really. It was never too real. It was like a dream. Like, when I win $1 million, then maybe. But at that moment, it became very real. I even told my sister, truly, if I would live in a hotel like this, I can easily afford to live here the whole month. And it just stuck with me. So this was one experience. So after I realized how astrocartography works, I started looking into details. I started looking at all the lines and where I lived before, where I was born. So my next line, so I decided to see what about New York and Florida, because for the last 20 years, this is my moving. I used to live in Florida, then I moved to New York, then I moved back to Florida, and it seems I'm not moving nowhere from this two states. And apparently, I have a Mercury line that goes straight through New York City, and it touches Miami a little bit. So it's not very close to Miami, but it still influences Miami. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication, of business dealings, of education, and that's exactly. I got my bachelor's, my master's I got my bachelor's in Florida. I got my master's in New York, and I built a really nice career in New York. So when I decide that I want to build a career, I probably will go back to New York, because this is really a spot for me to really to build a career, because my Mercury line goes through that. Now, that was about New York, so I kind of checked that. And recently I traveled through Italy, and I didn't plan to go to Italy. I wanted to go to Czech Republic, but it happened so that I went to Italy. So when I bought the tickets, so my plan is like this. I went to Italy and then I came here to Serbia. But I didn't plan my trips according to Astrocartography. I planned my trips according to, I don't know, just because. Well, Serbia, there is a reason why I'm here, but for the most part, I didn't really plan. It could have been Istanbul. So when I planned, I decided, well, let me look at the map. Let me see what lines are going through. So I have Venus going through Italy, my Venus line, and especially through Florence. And Venus is the planet of, it's a feminine planet, a planet of femininity, of beauty, of connections with men, of feeling so like a siren. I mean, it is it's also a planet of money. So if Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of big wealth, Venus is the planet of our personal money. So I will tell you my experience. As soon as I get on the train from Rome to Venus, I mean, it's like something happened. First off, I mean, there was so many empty seats, and my seat was next to this like really handsome guy, and the handsome guy was really like helping me, was really into me, and I was surprised. I was like, is this a prank? Is this, like what's going on here? What is the problem? I mean, why couldn't I get a seat on an empty seat? Because there were a lot of empty seats, but and why is he so nice to me anyways? Why is he talking to me? Why is he so perfect? He was he was just so ideal. So okay, I mean, I was a little tired, so I got off the train, and my whole week in Florence, I mean, it was something unbelievable. I hardly worked. I only was doing energy alignments, and I was doing consultations, but I was not. I didn't do dialogues, as you know. But Florence just got me into this mood of being just me, being beautiful, being just enjoy myself. And you will say, well, that's because it's Florence. No, I've been to beautiful cities, but it wasn't about Florence, it was about me. Like, I woke up at 6 a.m. and I went for a run, and I was sitting in some distant park, and I just felt so like I was on a cloud. And it has nothing to do with Florence, it was me. But overall, I was really loved in Florence, really, and not just by Italians. It seems by everybody and by everything, by men, by women, by pigeons, by and all why? Because my Venus line was there. As soon as I left Florence, as soon as I left my Venus line, it's like everything was out at once. I forgot all my romantic connections there, and I was just like, it was completely different mindset. So now I came to Serbia. In Serbia, I have my Neptune line going through. So we'll see. I'm only here second day, but we will see. Neptune is more about dreams, manifestation. It's a good place to go to kind of for anybody. The Neptune line is good for everybody if you want to dive into meditation, into knowing your inner world, but it's maybe not the best line to live in because you don't want to live in a pink world, right? You need to have reality. So anyways, but this is my experience. I am not sure. I would very much want to live on my moon line, because as feminine as I am, if I would live where my moon is, I only can imagine how I would feel. So I want also to go through all the lines to kind of to explain them to you. Now you will see. So when you will build your chart, you will see a lot of lines, and you will see the little signs for the planets. You just need to find the right planet. You can also narrow it down to a particular planet. But let's go through the planets. So the sun, if you have your sun, the funny thing is I don't have any lines in neither where I was born, neither where I lived as a teenager. And I'm not surprised. I moved to United States and I moved to Florida and then to New York because at that time I was very much focused on my career. I was very young and I wanted to study and I wanted to have a career. I'm not surprised. Maybe if I would be focused on love, I would move somewhere else. And actually in Italy I spoke to somebody who said when I came to Italy, he's an immigrant. He said, when I came to Italy, it was a breakthrough for me. And I knew already which line he's on. And it was true. I built his line, his chart, and so his Uranus line goes through Italy. Okay, so the sun shows the location that is most attuned to your personality. So you will shine there just like a sun. You will feel very confident, you will be very successful, and you will be able to influence others. Now, if you want to really boost your confidence, that's where you need to be, on your sun line. My sign lines, unfortunately, are so in such places that I don't even know whether I will ever go there. But still, this would be ideal for everybody. Ideally for everybody would be when the sun and moon connect. Like my brother, he has a really nice spot where his sun and moon kind of intersect. And I told him, this is the place where you need to be. You would be very happy there. But my brother is a masculine man. He has a mind of his own. Anyways, so that's basically it. That's the sun. If you want to be confident, if you want to be successful, that's your sun line. Now, your moon life is your femininity, is your softness, is your intuition, is your emotions. And it's a connection to the mother. So if you want to have kids, if you have problems conceiving, if you have problems having kids, maybe you should be on your moon line. But again, it will make you very mild and very soft. So if you are about to build a career, maybe the moon line is not the perfect place for you. I actually know somebody whose moon line goes through Miami. And despite her being very airy and very masculine, she's very soft. And she told me it only happens to be in Miami. And now I know why. Okay, so your Mercury line is associated with intellect, communication, education, business connections. So this is all about communication. In this, you really can become influential through your language, through speaking. Also, you can get really creative in this area. So if you want to build a career, if you want to be listened to, if you want to really connect with people, then live on your Mercury line. Mercury line is like that, and I'm telling you, I lived on Mercury line for so long. Now your Venus line, your Venus line is associated with love, with beauty, and with your personal money. So it's not the money that you are getting from winning the lotto. It's the money that you're making with yourself, that you're attracting with yourself. Also your success. Now, also, if you want to find a soulmate or launch a project, that's probably the place where you should do it. And you will be really like glowing. I actually met one of my friends from Miami in Florence. She was there with her husband, and she told me, this is exactly what she told me. She said, I can't stop looking at you. You're just so like what is, I'm trying to translate because she said it in Russian, like that you're so um, like you're so like seducible, like you're seducing people around you, like you're so soft and pleasurable, like you just flowing in your own world. And that's exactly how I felt. I mean, I feel like this most of the time, but over there, I mean, you like I never felt like this in my whole life. And it, again, it had nothing to do with Florence. Actually, I was avoiding Florence and all this touristic sites and tourists and people as much as I could, but I still felt like this. It's like I was in love with myself, with my body, with I don't know, I never felt like this, honestly. It was something amazing. And even though I didn't pay much attention to my YouTube channel and overall to my clients, I was not even responding that fast as I usually do. I still got a lot of requests for consultations, and I'm like, really, my sales went up just by me being there and feeling pleasure. But that connects. I knew that would happen regardless, because I was so much in pleasure and so much in love. So I was expecting that. So this is your Venus. If you want that, you need to live on your Venus line. So basically the line goes like this, and you just pick the cities that are on that line, and just pick the one city where you want to be, and go there and stay there. Like Florence was right on the line, so I basically went to Florence. But I went to Florence not because I knew that my Venus line was going there. I found out that later. Now your Mars is associated with, this is our masculine planet, so it's associated with passion, actions. Now, if you want to become a leader, probably this is the place that you should live on your Mars line. Oh, but I want to tell you, I mean, since we're all ladies here and we're trying to develop femininity, be careful with that. Because you can become seriously masculine, seriously aggressive. You don't want that. Now, also on this line, you probably will like men that you will meet on this line. So, like that, you will just like them in general. For men, if you meet women on your Venus line, that's how you would also feel like that. So I would be careful with the Mars line. I wouldn't mind to go and stay on my Mars line to see how I would feel, but I probably wouldn't be living there, because overall masculine energy makes me anxious. But if it's too much, and if I am becoming too masculine, I am not even sure how I would feel. All right, the next line is Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. You all know that, it's not a secret, and that's where you will experience luck and abundance and expansion in your luck and your abundance. But again, it depends on your thoughts. Jupiter just expands you. Now, if you have not such a good thoughts, I mean, it will expand what you're basically thinking about. So make sure that you're thinking the right thoughts with on Jupiter line. The expansion can go either way. But Jupiter is really the planet of luck, expansion. People usually connect it with the big wealth. So you can really win something. You can really become very wealthy on this line. Again, I mean, I don't know how I could have got wealthy in Cappadocia. I mean, it's a small town, a small region overall, but yeah, but you can get really lucky there. You can get lucky in love, in business, in material possessions. So find if that's what you want, find your Jupiter line. But remember, if you're living on Jupiter line, you will be expanding all the time. I mean, are you ready for that? Are you ready to live in a never-ending expansion? So there should be a limit also to everything. But I wouldn't mind to live on such line. The next line is Saturn. I do want to go to Portugal, but my Saturn line goes through Portugal, and I'm like, I'm not sure whether I should go there. Saturn is like a strict parent. This is what you call karma. Saturn is about duties, responsibilities, about our obligations, and if you learn your lessons, you will have a big reward. But those lessons could be hard. Now, it could also transform you, make you stronger, make you more make you look at that world a little differently. Now I don't know what I want I want to be on the Saturn line, but I think that I might go at one point and just see how I would feel there. So this is Saturn. If you live and you feel like your life is constant struggle, then maybe you are living on your Saturn line and maybe it's time to move somewhere. Okay, now the next one is Uranus. Uranus is the revolutionary planet. It's a breakthrough planet. As I told you, that guy that I met in Florence, he said that when he came to Italy, it was like a breakthrough for him because his Uranus line goes straight through Florence. So this is the planet. So if you feel like you're stuck, like you don't know what to do with your life, like everything is the same, then get somewhere where your Uranus line goes through. If you will get there, you will see, you probably will have some kind of urge to change something or to do something. This is how I found out about astrocartography. The person that was explaining, it was a video. I watched some video, and she mentioned, this is what she said. She said, I felt like I was stuck in my career and my life. So what I did, I picked the city on my Uranus line and I went there. And that's how she started her new business, this and this and this. And I'm like, what is this? Because at that point I felt a little stuck too. And so this is how I found out about astrocartography, only like that, because I was curious what was that and where did she found that Uranus line. So again, but I don't know whether you can live in places like this because you will constantly want to change. Like this guy in Florence, this is what he's like. It's like he's not happy. He wants to change this. He wants to change that. Maybe he's ambitious, but again, at one point you kind of have to stop. But it will be a good way to change, especially when you are not really attached to the changes. So Uranus are unexpected changes, and that's basically what it is. So if you want unexpected and you just like surprise me, universe, then you should live on the Uranus line. Okay, the Neptune line, where I am now, you feel like connected to your spirituality. It's really just the work with yourself. If you want to slow down, to start meditating, to connect to yourself more, Neptune line is probably the one for you. Also, if you want to have like a perfect time with your partner, you probably should take a honeymoon on Neptune line. So it's like this romantic kind of dreamy spot for you. Now, as I said, probably for living, it's not the best place, just because you do need to kind of be in reality a little bit. You can't just avoid reality. Like for example, with me, when I came to Florence, I wanted to like, I don't like crowds, but I still wanted to go to sit in the cafes. I wanted to kind of to see people, to observe that. Here I don't want, like I feel like I'm avoiding people because I so much want to be within myself. And it's not right. I mean, okay, so it's okay. I'm not here for too long, so I can. But if I would live here, I can't live just within my within myself and with myself at all times. I experience and develop through socializing with people, through experiencing people, and stuff like that. Now, your Pluto line. Pluto, it is about transformation, maybe dramatic transformations. So if Saturn is about your responsibilities and learning lessons, Pluto is about, okay, if you didn't do your lessons, then that's basically, then you get the punishment. So Pluto is like that. Now, if you live on the if you live on the Pluto line, transformation is inevitable, and that transformation will be hard, hard and very serious, and the growth. You will grow, whether you want it or not. There's no choice. You will grow. But I just want to say it won't be a very smooth process. Pluto is a hard teacher. I mean, Saturn is a strict one, but Pluto is the hard one. Like they say, experience is the best teacher. It costs a lot, but it teaches good. So this is about Pluto. Now, if you are ready for such transformation, if you want, like some people, they like they like challenges, they like to grow in challenges, then maybe Pluto line is for you. Like I was following this guy, and he went somewhere on his Pluto line. Like when I was interested in astrocartography, I was listening to a lot of people about it, and he went there because he wanted to see what would be the best version of himself. And he stayed there for I think like half a year. He assures that he really grew, and I believe him. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't want to have the same experience. He is a man. He grows in challenges. I wouldn't. I don't want to grow in challenges. I want to grow in pleasure. But this is about your Pluto line. Another thing I want to mention to you: when you will look at your line, you will see over there 4 indicators. It will be either AC, MC, IC, and OC. I think AC, IC, midheaven, MC, and descendant DC. So AC, when you see, you don't have to get into this too detailed, but I will just quickly a couple words. So if you want to find out where to live, look for where your IC is. So find, for example, you want to live where your sun goes through, the sun line, and then just find on that sun line where is IC. This would be perfect for your home. Usually IC line is basically, probably at that place you will have a really nice, luxurious home. If you want to have relationship with men or with overall with people, then you should look for DC. If you want to build a career, be successful in what you're doing, then you should look for MC. And if you look for just to shine and prosper and be like a sun, then you should look for AC. Again, these are the same lines. It just when you look through the line, you will be able to pinpoint. You will see it. You don't have to do nothing. You will just follow the line, and there will be all the signs. So this is a little extra. Now, some astrologers, I was listening to them, they also look for asteroids, like some, they are not planets, I guess. They just I wouldn't get too deep into that. Like there is this figures of luck, of love, Eros. I wouldn't get too deep into that. But if you have such a desire, if you want to, if you have an available astrologer, I mean, I'm sure they will be able to help you. But don't get too deep. I mean, you can't base your life based on astrology alone. But observe where you are right now and what lines go through you, through the location where you are. And if you have, if you really don't care where to live, then why not to try to live on the on different lines, just to experience yourself, see how you would feel. As I said, I was really grateful for being on my Mercury line in New York. I really had a successful career. I'm really grateful that I happened to be in Cappadocia in the middle of nowhere, and had this thought that stuck with me and opened me to a different kind of life. And I'm grateful, obviously, that I was in Florence. I mean, I'm so not used to. I'm used to be liked. I'm used to be in this in pleasure. You know, I'm very feminine, so it's a normal thing for me. But over there, I was like, basically, I put everything on pause. Because I couldn't focus. I was just I was just enjoying myself and my body that much, and men around me who joined me, but in a good way, not in a way that you might think. But still, I really enjoyed. Really, I mean, the band, they were just they were taking me everywhere. They were, and without any expectations, which is, I thought they would have expectations, but they didn't. And this is just amazing. Like, to the point, I don't want to put in a difficult position somebody, but to the point that when I checked in into my hotel, the manager invited me to a dinner. I mean, what? Like, it was very strange. Obviously, I said no. I mean, I didn't even want to. But it was a completely different experience. But a little strange for me because I never experienced nothing like that. I mean, I always was liked. I always had good relationship with men, thanks God. But I never. It was never as as like this. But again, there was a downfall too, because I was so much enjoying myself. I was eating. So anyways, and I was obviously, I'm obviously grateful to see what will be on my Neptune line right now. So this is a little bit, I hope it makes it clear for all of you who ask about it. Again, it has nothing to do with femininity, unless you're going to live on your moon line, or your Venus line for that matter. But I thought it is interesting, and some of you asked me about it, so I wanted to give you my experience. Now, I also want to answer one question. Last dialogue that I had 2 weeks ago was about gold digging, whether you are fit to be a gold digger or not. It's actually a very good. If you didn't listen to it, listen to it. It's actually very good. Very good life we had. A gold digger doesn't always mean that you're bad. It just means that you approach relationship in a masculine way. Nothing bad in that. There is men and women that are masculine and they don't know how else to approach relationship. And this is just one way to have relationship. It's nothing bad. It's not. Don't be stuck in what society teaches you. It has nothing to do with that. They always were like this. Always were contracts and all this. So, anyways, I got this question. The question is, do we want to go backwards and have marriage contracts, be bought as objects? Maybe I'm not understanding what are you saying, but it sounds wrong to me. In some societies, still now, people have contracts, and in United States, in Europe, people still write prenuptial agreement. I am not planning to get married again, but who knows? I seem to like to get married. But if I do, chances are 100% that I will do a prenuptial agreement, because prenuptial agreement basically helps me. It doesn't only help my man, it helps me as well. I know what to expect. I know what I'm getting if in case of divorce. I know what I'm getting while we're married. I know that the guy will take care of me when we have kids. Usually in the prenuptial agreement they write down, if you have kids, this is how much you're getting. So this is very beneficial. I mean, what's wrong with that? Now I don't have to worry about the money because we have a contract. I can focus on the guy and loving him because the money part is covered. It's amazing. I think it is like seriously amazing thing. I mean, I see nothing wrong in contracts. Now, we are not bought as objects. We have rights, obviously, but we connect with men. And for me, it's easy to socialize and communicate on emotions. I'm an emotional person, but men, they like structure. So I don't mind to create this contract with the man. So then I can be freely with my emotions, kind of. We are not, nobody's buying us. It's exchange of energy. I give a man, I was on a date a couple days ago, and the guy, he was just enamored by me. I mean, he couldn't get enough of me. He was just like, he was ready to spend and spend and spend just so I will be in his space, but I was tired and so I was giving him so much energy. He was so happy with my energy. He was so happy being around me that he was spending money on me, on our activities, on everything. I mean, is he buying me? No, he's not buying me. It's just an exchange of energy. That's all. I gave him the pleasure. He's giving me the pleasure. It is normal. It has nothing to do with who bought who. It's not right. So if I give a man energy, does it mean that I'm buying him with my energy? No, that doesn't. We develop like this. I give him something, he gives me something. My strength is my emotions, my feelings, my pleasure. His strength is money. I mean, the guy is career focused. He works all the time. So he has money. I have pleasure. He craves for pleasure. I crave security. So he gave me security. I give him pleasure. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. Also, when you have an understanding, a contract, maybe a prenuptial agreement, you can focus on what is right, what is important for you and for your man right now. If I'm pregnant and I'm to have a kid with the guy, I mean, I want to focus on the child, on development of the child, on my energy, so the child will be born without traumas, instead of focusing, okay, what if he leaves me? Will I have enough money to support my kid? What if this and this and this? I mean, prenuptial agreement is the only right option, or some kind of agreement. So I don't see nothing wrong. It's not wrong, honestly. It's not wrong. The couples that have this kind of agreements, they are much more secure, because they covered this base, and now on this strong base they can grow together. If they know, a man knows how much he's supposed to provide, a woman knows how much she's provided, how much money she's getting. Now she has kind of a budget to play with, and he knows that this is how much he's given. Now if he wants to give her extra, he does, but there is no expectations. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing. Why wouldn't somebody want it? I mean, I would gladly, like all my relationship that was successful, the ones that we covered this the financial thing on spot, and I'm covering it even right now. Like once security is covered, then we can talk about something else. I just don't understand how else I can have relationship at this point, or anybody else. I know families, I knew even before I was thinking like this, that had agreements. As you know, in some Middle Eastern countries, they still do agreements. In some Asian countries, they still do agreements. It's not a woman that's negotiating, but her family is negotiating for her, and she can say yes or no to those negotiations. But it is truly amazing, because when she gets into their family, she already knows what to expect and what she is receiving. It is a very secure feeling. She knows that, for example, that she has a budget of $5,000 a month for her house expenses, and another $2,000 for her personal expenses. I mean, she knows how to plan, maybe to save. She knows that if she will have a kid, I remember I had a client, so for every child, she got like I don't know, like 70,000 or something. It was just for her money, like a present, I guess. And she was also putting those money aside. It's amazing, but it was written in the contract. So, but in the contract it was written 30,000, but her husband, I guess, was so pleased that he gave her 70. But what I want to say, that it's amazing. And do you think she was always focused on money? No, she was not. Actually, her husband, at one point, he had some issues in his business, and she gave him the money. She how do I know? Because because she was my client. She came in and she was not withdrew, but transferred to his account a large sum of money. And then after like 3 years, he returned it to her. But what I want to say, it's not it is really a good start for any kind of relationship. Ideally, we should connect with another person on sexual level. So if I am not sexually attracted to the man, I shouldn't even be talking to him. Let's start with that. But if I am sexually attracted to him and he is to me, he's a really potential to be my partner. I am a potential to be his partner. We need to cover the base. We need to cover the first chakra. Some we could not experience pleasure together until our first chakra is covered. And first chakra is security, is basically housing, food, like medical expenses, like that. So I could not marry a man if he provides me that. Not that I could not, obviously I can, but it would be very hard for me to be feminine me if I don't have that, or at least I don't know that I will have it. Like I would be hoping that, well, I hope he will get me something, but it's a wrong approach, very wrong approach. So nobody is buying nobody. Contracts are an amazing thing, and the person who asked me is a Jewish girl, and I thought Jewish people do have contracts, so I'm surprised on that question. Because I thought that you guys do contracts for some reason, but maybe some of you, maybe not everybody. So yeah, I am all for contracts, for prenuptial agreements, because prenuptial agreement is not only protecting a man. For the most part, it protects a woman. It's a contract. You can put in there anything you want. You can put anything. You can put that every week you're supposed to get flowers, and this would keep a man on his toes. I mean, you can truly put your whole life in there. You can put that you need to have your own separate bedroom or whatever. You need to have a helper like around the house. You can put anything you want, and it is a contract. So, like I always bring Melanie Trump to the picture. She had because I really admire her. You know, she's an immigrant woman, and she's like really strong. So she had a contract when she married Trump. Then she renegotiated the contract when she had the son Baron Trump, and then she renegotiated the contract again when Trump was elected the president. So, like she she really goes. She's really very smart with that. I mean, obviously, as the first lady, she needed to have more money, so she renegotiated the contract. But what I want to say, that creates security for her and for her position and for her son, and I'm sure her husband appreciates her much more because she cost him something. She is not just somebody who is available just like that. So I hope this my little speech encourage all of you to have contracts. Don't feel like asking for a contract will be is a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. It's always good, and a man will appreciate you. I actually knew a man a while back. He was just like a friend of mine, a good acquaintance, and he said, "I'm going to the wedding on Saturday. Do you want to come with me?" But I was working, so I couldn't go. So I was working in the morning, and you had to travel. It was in Atlantic City, the marriage. So I told him I couldn't go. I can join you late. So anyways, the point was, I'm like, who is the friend? And he said, oh, a good friend of mine. He just met this girl and they're already getting married. But he said, I think it won't last long. And I said, why would you say that? And he said, because the girl didn't ask for nothing. She just agreed on, like, as soon as he told her, let's get married, she just agreed. She didn't negotiate nothing for herself. He's like, it looks very suspicious. It's either she just needs to quickly marry him, or she's just like very desperate to marry. So this is a man's point of view. A man told me he said it looks very strange if a woman does not negotiate for herself at least something, like she didn't even discuss where they're going to live, what they're going to eat. I mean, how much money is he making? So it's a man's point. You see, it's not a woman that I was saying. It was a man that basically said. And what do you think? Yeah, they were divorced very soon. I found out about that like 2 years after, because we were not that close, so we were not socializing all the time. But I remember when we reconnected, he said, do you remember that guy that I went to the wedding to? I said, yeah. And he said, they are divorced. Because they didn't negotiate the base. When they got married, she was unhappy with this, and basically there was no family. So like that. I hope I encourage you. Nothing wrong with having contracts. Nothing wrong with discussing. Trust me, men will never think less of you, because men appreciate that. Masculine men especially they're all about negotiations, contracts, about all that. They will like it. They don't know how to deal with emotions, but they do know how to deal with the person who knows what they want. They respect it. So don't be afraid, I mean, you don't need to be aggressive, but you can say something. Listen, I don't want to bring it up in our life, so let's discuss it now. I mean, it would be ideal if you would have a family member who would do it for you, but like, we live in a modern world, so we have to discuss it for ourselves. Okay, so that's that. I hope I answered that question in details. I on purpose didn't answer her, but I wanted to really elaborate. And I do hope, I encourage you to look into your astrocartography and just see. Maybe you are right now living on your best line. So if you want to live on the best line, that's your sun line. If you want to really get into your femininity, your moon line. If you want to be successful in career, communicating, connecting with new people, that's your Mercury line. If you want to feel really pretty, like really be in love, really draw everything on pleasure, that's your Venus line. But as I told you, it's not an easy line. I mean, it was easy and pleasurable, but at one point I was like lost. I'm like, what's going on with me? If you want to become, to develop your masculinity and really become a little aggressive in life, a little action oriented, that's your Mars line. If you want to focus on your duties, responsibilities, and get rewards for that, that's your Saturn line. If you want to expand and constantly expand, that's your Jupiter line. If you want to change, if you feel like you are in a swamp for some time and you're craving some changes, that's your Uranus line. And if you want to connect to inner self, to kind of to start meditating, to be more within yourself, that's your Neptune line. And if you want to be, if you want to truly transform, truly transform to the highest possible version of yourself, that's your Pluto line. Again, see where you are. Maybe you're already living. Maybe you were born on such line. Maybe you were traveling to such lines. Look where you took vacations, where your lines are. Also could be very, very interesting to observe. Also observe where your partners are from. Like the most significant partners in my life were from where my Sun and Mars meet. So these were men that I really liked, and I had the most significant relationship. So there is a lot of variations, but you can play with it, and you can really see where you can. I think it's fascinating. Honestly, I really, really think it is. And if you feel like your life is too hard and you just jumping through the hoops all the time for even to go buy eggs, you have like difficulties for everything. Maybe you live in somewhere like your Pluto line, or maybe your Saturn line. Maybe you just need to move. Actually, I was listening to this one person. He's American. He was born to like very unfortunate family. So his parents were abusing drugs. He was born in a extreme poverty. His whole childhood was like a misery. And then something happened to his parents. I don't exactly remember, but something happened to his parents, and he moved to live with his aunt. And so he lived somewhere in the middle of United States, and he moved to California. Not like Hollywood or something, but Los Angeles, but some small town in California. And it seems like his life became to thrive. Even though his aunt was a busy person, didn't pay much attention to him, but his life still became to thrive. And he's an astrologer, so why I'm even talking about him? He said that when he looked at his astrocartography, he was born on a Saturn line. That was his Saturn line. And when he moved, it was his, I think, either Sun or Mars line. So one of those like really masculine, really bright lines. And that's why he became strong. So you see, now he was born there because his soul chose that, but you don't have to be stuck there. So if you feel like your life is hard, maybe you're just living in the wrong place and on the wrong line, and maybe it's time to move, to take a leap and experience something new. Okay, that's it. Tomorrow we're going to have a dialogue, and we're going to talk about, are you ready for changes? Yeah, that's going to be the topic for tomorrow. Again, it's 11 a.m. New York, Miami time, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to connect, talk, answer your questions if you have any. Maybe you will have questions about astrocartography by then. I will answer, but again, I'm not an astrologer. I'm only telling you my experience. That's what I learned and what I've read. But that's not my expertise. I can talk about femininity, about energy, but astrocartography is not really my strength. But I wanted to share it. Anyways, that's it. I will talk to you tomorrow at 11 a.m. New York, Miami time. Bye, everybody.